Welcome to today's episode. We're diving into a fascinating topic, R1-Zero-Like training for large language models and what makes it tick. This is some cutting-edge stuff, so let's break it down in a way that's easy to digest and explore why it matters. First off, what's R1-Zero-Like training? Well, it's a method we're seeing emerge in the development of large language models, particularly those focused on enhancing reasoning capabilities. Think of it like teaching a computer not just to regurgitate information, but to actually think, reason, and solve problems, like having a digital Sherlock Holmes on your team. Now, researchers have found some interesting insights. For instance, they noticed that the DeepSeek V3 base model shows this aha moment, that moment of realization or discovery, pretty prominently. It's kind of like watching a light bulb go off. Users have reported that when they employ the 2.5 model, they see an average improvement of around 60% on benchmark scores just by tweaking their approach, moving away from traditional prompting methods. Can you imagine if your average test score shot up that dramatically just by changing how you study? But here's where it gets really intriguing. When it comes to implementing reinforcement learning, researchers found that methods like GRPO, which stands for Generalized Reinforcement Policy Optimization, actually introduce a bit of bias in the optimization process. It's like trying to reach a goal but getting slightly sidetracked along the way. To solve this, they developed something they call Dr. GRPO. Think of it as the superhero version of RPO, designed to fix those pesky biases while still keeping reasoning performance strong. Isn't that clever? Now, let's consider the mechanics behind it. The researchers looked at how template mismatches, like using the wrong question format, can actually dismantle reasoning capabilities before any corrective action is applied. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. If the question set is familiar enough, even if it's a little different from the training material, it can still reinforce correct reasoning instead of just throwing in new knowledge. They didn't stop there. They also explored other base models like Llama, showing that with domain-specific pre-training, they could actually improve the framework. There's something pretty powerful about being able to tune these models from the ground up and seeing improvements in performance with minimal training hours, just 27 hours on some GPUs, which is like the equivalent of a long weekend project. So what's the bottom line here? The researchers distilled their findings into a minimalist recipe for R1-Zero-Like training. This includes carefully selecting the right models, avoiding bias with their improved algorithm, and practicing on specific math questions to achieve top-notch results. To wrap it all up, the strides we're making in AI training methods like R1-Zero could certainly help bridge the gap towards smarter, more intuitive models. What will that future look like? If computers can learn how to reason and solve complex problems with higher efficiency, we might just be looking at the dawn of an entirely new era in human-computer collaboration. As we close, what are your thoughts? Could an AI potentially assist you in your everyday decision-making? Or will it be more like a quirky sidekick? We'd love to hear your opinions. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you're a bit more enlightened about R1-Zero-Like training. Until next time, keep questioning and exploring.